So now we've come to Alien 3. Yeah, I know what I said. I said I would review every single Alien movie in the build-up to Romulus. I knew this was coming eventually. This is where the franchise really takes a nosedive after the first two movies were so damn good. This was allegedly directed by David Fincher. And I say allegedly because he is credited here. He actually got his career started as a filmmaker on music videos. So then when the studio contacted him to direct this one, he jumped at the chance. And I'm sure he's regretting it now because he does not like talking about this experience. So we once again follow Ripley, played by Sigourney Weaver, who is absolutely giving it her all. I'm not going to dispute that. She's the only survivor when she crash lands on Fiorina 161, a bleak wasteland inhabited by former inmates of the planet's maximum security prison, which for some reason has no guns or ammunition of any kind. That's just stupid. And once again, Ripley must face skepticism and the alien all at the same time as the xenomorph hunts down the prisoners and the guards and takes them out one at a time. And as I said, without weapons or modern technology of any kind in this prison, Ripley leads the men into battle against the terrifying creature. So I mentioned there are a couple of redeeming qualities about Alien 3 that keep it from being the worst in the entire franchise, which we'll certainly talk about. Sigourney Weaver absolutely is putting her utmost effort into this. And as a follow-up for an Academy Award-nominated performance in Aliens, this is some really solid work. And David Fincher, you can tell he is absolutely trying to direct this movie with his utmost passion. There are some good ideas that are present in Alien 3, but overall, I think the whole issue with this movie is the fact that it is a jumbled mess. And it all boils down to the behind-the-scenes shenanigans, if you can call them shenanigans, that went on before 1992. That is, while they were filming Alien 3. There were just way too many people who had too much pull who are trying to put the story in the direction that they wanted to go. When it comes to filmmaking, the story and how it's presented should boil down to two people in the decision-making stand: the writer and the director. It feels like everybody who had some sort of pull, Sigourney Weaver included, they wanted to have their say in how Alien 3's story went. And it still doesn't translate very well for me. I have never been the biggest fan of Alien 3. I know there's people that have an affinity for it, and I know there's people out there that like it, but I just can't really ever get into it. Namely because it actually feels like two different movies. And it really struggles with finding an identity for itself. Because at its crux, yes, the Alien name is on the title, or Alien Cubed in this case. You should have triple the terror for a threequel. A threequel to one of the greatest horror movies of all time. And nothing really remotely frightening happens with this alien, which looks god-awful fake. Especially when you consider its two predecessors and when those came out and how real those effects looked. Then you fast forward to 1992 and the digital effects look so damn choppy. Yeah, I'm specifically thinking of the moment where this xenomorph is crawling around on the ceiling. And it's like this feral dog trying to attack one of our heroes. It just does not look good. And I know David Fincher has proven himself to be a master. Thank God he put out 7 right after this. But this movie just doesn't look very appealing. The cinematography isn't very good. The editing choices, I think, are absolutely subpar. And while I do appreciate the fact that this movie was taking a more character-driven approach, the first two Alien movies also took a character-driven approach with its humans, and both those preceding Alien movies had some sort of identity. That original Alien movie is still so damn good. I talked about it not too long ago. It's still one of the greatest science fiction thrillers I think ever put to the screen. It is a masterpiece. Its follow-up, directed by James Cameron, is nothing short of an action extravaganza like no other. Those two movies have their own identities and their own places in this franchise. Then you get to Alien 3 and you don't really know what to make of it. So yes, I do think this is very much a mixed bag. I think there are some good ideas that are being thrown around. Sigourney Weaver's performance is especially immaculate. Especially given the fact that Ripley dies in this one. Spoiler warning, I'm sorry. But yeah, just too many hands in the mix trying to mold the image of Alien 3 into what each of these individuals wanted. And for a movie that should have been about triple the tension, it was more about triple the cooks in the kitchen. And I hate to sound like a broken record, but that's the best way I can describe this. And the dish that they created for you is a big jumbled mess of ingredients that don't really taste all that great. It's a weird analogy, but that's the best way I can put this. I should also mention, yes, the script is very dumb. Like, how come you can't have these gigantic guns in a maximum security prison? I read up somewhere that after Alien, Sigourney Weaver did not want to be seen on screen carrying a gun because she herself is anti-gun in real life. She tried to do a lot of things to Alien 3, and some of which, thank God, did not happen. But yeah, the fact that Ripley is not carrying a gun around anymore, that was one of her wishes that was granted. And it just comes off like a really clumsy choice, because again, how do you have a maximum security prison anywhere with absolutely no sort of heavy artillery to be found? That's not just a lack of resources, that's a lack of good writing. But yeah, all in all, Alien 3, pretty disappointing flick overall. I'm gonna give it a C-. And believe it or not, this is not as bad as it gets for the Alien franchise. No siree, it is not. Next time on this playlist, we're going to be looking at the worst of them all, Alien Resurrection. Oh, I'm not looking forward to watching that. Believe it or not, I've never seen it. So it's going to be an experience for you. It's going to be an experience for me to look at this with fresh eyes. And I'm absolutely dreading it because I've heard nothing but terrible things. And let me know what you thought of Alien Cubes down in the comments section below. Hit that subscribe button if you're new and tap on that thumbs up as well. I would love that. I mean, at this point, why aren't you subscribed to the channel? It's a great community of geeks, film lovers, and entertainment lovers alike. Y'all are invited to join us. Thank you again so much for tuning in, my friends. Y'all are the best. And with all that being said, back talk, commence.